Welcome to AI Chain Reaction, the podcast where we unpack the incredible world of artificial intelligence and automation. Each week, we're diving deep into the tech that's reshaping our lives, our businesses, and our future. From groundbreaking innovations and the latest industry news to practical strategies on how you can leverage AI automation for growth. We're covering it all. We'll be joined by leading experts, innovators, and thought leaders who are at the forefront of this digital revolution. Are you ready to explore how one small change can set off a massive chain reaction of progress? Then you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. I'm Nick, and as always, I'm joined by my co-hosts Jordan and Devon. Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic in AI, prompt engineering, where we'll cover the basics now and get into advanced strategies next time.
Hey folks, prompt engineering. That sounds technical. Nick, for those of us that are not in depth with AI, what exactly does prompt engineering mean?
Great question. Prompt engineering is essentially the art of crafting effective instructions or questions for a generative AI system so that it gives useful and accurate results. In other words, it's about phrasing your request in the right way. A prompt isn't just a simple question. It includes context, details, maybe examples, and even constraints like desired format or tone, all to guide the AI's response. Effective prompts give the AI clear context and boundaries, which helps it produce output that's on point and aligned with what you actually need.
So it's like giving the AI very specific directions to get a better answer.
Exactly. Think of it this way. If you were delegating a task to a colleague or an employee, you'd give them a clear brief, right? You wouldn't just say, help me with inventory. That could lead to a really unfocused outcome. Instead, you might say something like, please prepare a one-page report on the current inventory status by warehouse, including any stockouts, and use an upbeat tone because it's for the team meeting. See the difference? In the second case, you've given a clear task with context, specifics, and even a tone. Prompt engineering is just like that, but for AI. A well-crafted prompt guides the AI to produce a much better answer, similar to how a clear brief guides an employee.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. A vague request gives a vague result, whether you're asking a person or AI. But Nick, let me ask you this. Why is everyone suddenly talking about prompt engineering? Why does it matter so much?
It matters because how you ask a question hugely influences what answer you get from an AI. Generative AIs like ChatGPT or others only know what you tell them. If your prompt is too broad or ambiguous, the AI might give you a generic or even irrelevant response. But if you craft your prompt with specific details and context, you're much more likely to get a useful, accurate answer. For example, consider you want to know why deliveries were late last quarter. If you just ask, why are deliveries late? The AI might respond with very general reasons. Deliveries can be late due to weather, traffic, etc. Not super helpful, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's just way too generic. You wouldn't ask a person that. You'd want to specify some details around it, on some parameters on why it could be late, what were the reasons, to dig down to that next level. Yeah, thanks, Nick.
Exactly. But if instead you ask, list the top 3 causes of delivery delays in our company last quarter and suggest one solution for each in a concise bullet point format, now you've given a lot more guidance. You're specifying our company in last quarter, you want the top 3 causes, you want solutions, and you want it in bullet points. The AI can focus and give you a targeted answer. In practice, adding context like time frame and scope, constraints like format or list length, and clarity will yield a more on-point answer than a vague prompt ever would. In short, prompt engineering helps ensure the AI is answering the right questions in the right way.
Got it. So it's like the quality of the question determines the quality of the answer. I guess it's the old garbage in, garbage out principle, right?
That's exactly right. And this is something non-technical people can master as well. You don't have to be a programmer or an AI expert to write a good prompt. In fact, a recent MIT study found that even people without technical backgrounds were able to quickly improve their prompts and get better results from an AI. It turns out prompting is more about good communication skills than coding skills. The best prompt writers weren't software engineers, but people who knew how to express their ideas clearly in plain language. That's great news. It means anyone can learn prompt engineering and benefit from it.
That is good news. Totally demystifies it. It's not some secret tech. It's basically about wording things well. So I can see how creative people that are excellent at writing and structuring their queries can come up with excellent prompts.
You're absolutely right. And there's even research showing how powerful this can be. The MIT researchers found that when people switched to a more advanced AI model, about half of the improvement in performance came from the model itself, but the other half came from users adapting and refining their prompts. Better prompting by users was as important as the better AI model. That really underscores how much value there is in phrasing your questions effectively.
Got it. So upgrading our prompting skills can be just as beneficial as upgrading the technology. That seems pretty empowering for some of the users, no?
Definitely. Prompt engineering is a practical skill that anyone working with AI should cultivate, and it's worth cultivating. Not only do you get more accurate answers, but you can also tailor the responses to your needs. For instance, you can literally tell the AI what tone to use or what details to focus on.
Yeah. Hey, Nick, can you talk a little more on that? How can you control the tone or detail level in a prompt?
Sure, definitely. Let's say you're using an AI to draft an email or a report. If it's a customer facing email about a delay, you might want a polite, apologetic tone. You can include that in your prompt. For example, by specifying those elements, professional email, who the audience is, a customer, the situation, delayed order, the tone, empathetic slash apologetic, and even a word limit. You guide the AI to produce exactly the style of response you need.
And if we're an internal report, to say like an engineer, I might say explain in a technical tone or include detailed technical points.
That's right. You tailor the prompt to the context. For an engineer audience, you might prompt the AI to give a detailed technical explanation or use a more formal technical vocabulary. For a marketing team, you might ask it to respond in a friendly and upbeat tone. The ability to mold the style and detail of the output is a big part of prompt engineering. You're not just asking for information, you're also coaching the AI how to deliver that information. This is incredibly useful in business scenarios, whether you're drafting a customer apology email, a technical incident report, or a succinct executive summary. A well crafted prompt can get the AI to hit the right notes in content and tone.
Yeah, that's pretty great. So we can control what we get and how we get it. Now, what about actually developing the skill? Do you have any tips for someone trying to prompt engineering for the first time?
Yeah, definitely. One key tip is be specific and clear. As we discussed, don't be afraid to spell out exactly what you want. Include relevant details, context, or constraints in your prompt so that AI isn't guessing. Remember, the AI can't read your mind. If something is important for the answer, mention it in your prompt. A common mistake is being too vague and then getting a generic answer. Being explicit about your needs yields far better results.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like your earlier analogy. You wouldn't give an employee a one-liner on a super critical task with no details, especially for the first time, and then expect it to be a perfect report.
Right. Another tip, provide examples if possible. This is more of an advanced move, but even in a basic prompt, you can sometimes show the AI what you're looking for. For instance, here's an example of the kind of answers I want. Now, given my situation, produce a similar output. That's called a few shot prompting, and we'll talk more about it in part 2. But keep in mind that examples can help guide the AI. And importantly, don't hesitate to iterate. Prompt engineering is usually an interactive process. You try a prompt, see what the AI gives you, and then refine the prompt if needed. Maybe your first attempt wasn't specific enough, or maybe it was too specific and the answer missed some creativity. Either way, you can adjust and ask again. Think of it like having a conversation. If the AI didn't quite get it, you clarify your question or add more detail on the next round. This iterative refining is how you zero in on the best results. In fact, treating it as an experiment or a dialogue can really improve outcomes over time.
Yeah, that's a good point, Nick. Try, tweak, and try again. I've definitely had times using ChatGPT where my second or third attempt gave a much better answer than after I figured out a better way to ask the question. It's all about the data input here.
Same here. Sometimes I'll realize I forgot to specify something. And when I add that to the detail, the answer improves a lot. It's like teaching the AI what I really want. Just keep on tweaking the question and dial it in, and then you get the answer that you're looking for.
That's exactly it. And over time, you'll start to learn what kind of phrasing works best for different situations. Some people even keep a little prompt library of their best prompts that they reuse or adapt. Interestingly, some companies are starting to treat these well-crafted prompts as valuable intellectual property, trade secrets almost. The idea is that an effective prompt encapsulates a lot of domain know-how and best practices for getting the right answer, so it's something worth saving and reusing. In fact, organizations are encouraged to treat effective prompts as proprietary assets.
Wow, I never really actually thought of that. So you're telling me a prompt itself can be like a company's secret sauce?
In a way, yes. Imagine a consulting firm that develops a killer prompt to analyze client data and always finds the most useful insights, or a support team that has a prompt for the AI that consistently produces a perfect on-brand response to a customer complaint. Those are really useful recipes. Competitors or anyone else can use the same AI model, but if they don't know how to ask it in the optimal way, they won't get the same quality of output. So having superior prompts can actually be a competitive advantage. That's why you'll hear the prompt engineering know-how is becoming part of a company's intellectual capital. Absolutely. To sum it up, prompt engineering ensures the AI is answering the right question in the right way, rather than wandering off track. It's all about guiding the AI to give you the outcome you're looking for. Even though AI models are extremely powerful, they only give great results if you ask the right way.
Thanks, Nick. This has been super insightful. I like that it empowers everyone and not just the techies to get a better result from AI.
It really does. And with that, why don't we wrap up with a few key takeaways for our listeners?
Yeah, great idea. So takeaway number one, be specific and clear in your prompts. Don't leave any guesswork to the AI. Spell it out.
Takeaway two, always provide context and relevant details. Set the scene for AI. If it's about a certain product, a time frame, a particular client, include that information so that the answer is tailored and accurate.
Number three, if the tone or format of the answer matters, say so in the prompt. For example, mention if you want bullet points or you want an empathetic tone or a technical explanation. Basically, guide the style of the response that you want.
Number four, don't expect perfection on the first try. Prompt engineering is iterative. If the output isn't quite right, refine your prompt and try again. Each iteration teaches you something and gets you closer to the result that you want.
And lastly, number five, anyone can learn this. You don't need to be an engineer to craft good prompts. It's a communication skill. And with a bit of practice, you can quickly improve how you interact with AI and get significantly better.
Fantastic. If our listeners keep these points in mind, they'll be well on their way to becoming effective prompt engineers in their own right. Before we sign off, here's a call to action for everyone. Try this out for yourself. Think of a question or task you might normally throw at an AI, maybe something like summarize our weekly sales report or draft an email to a vendor about a late shipment. First, ask it in a very basic way and see what you get. Then apply the tips from today, add more context, specify the tone or format, get specific about what you want. Then compare the responses. I suspect you'll see a big improvement in clarity and usefulness of the AI's answer. This will not only reinforce what you've learned today, but it will start building your own intuition for crafting great prompts. And of course, we'd love to hear about your experiences. If you try this experiment, let us know what worked for you. Feel free to reach out with your success stories or any questions. We might even discuss them in a future episode. Finally, don't forget to tune in for part 2 of our prompt engineering series. Today, we cover the basics, and next time we'll explore advanced prompt techniques, things like using few-shot examples, chain of thought prompting, and other pro tips to really level up your AI game. It's going to be interesting, so you won't want to miss it.
And thanks everyone for listening. If you found this helpful, please share the podcast with your colleagues and friends, and remember to subscribe or follow so that you get the next episode automatically.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, we appreciate you spending your time with us. Prompt engineering is a game changer for leveraging AI in any business, and we're excited to help you master it one step at a time.
Until next time, take care and happy prompting. Bye, everyone.
And that brings us to the end of another episode of AI Chain Reaction. Thank you so much for tuning in and exploring the incredible world of AI and automation with us. We hope today's discussion sparked some new ideas and gave you valuable insights into how these technologies are shaping our future. Don't let the conversation stop here. What was your biggest takeaway from this episode? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing from you. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. For more resources and to learn how AI automation can transform your business, visit us at wintersAIsolutions.com. Thanks again for being part of our community. Until next time, keep innovating and stay curious.